So this is a really cool battle, and I think this is a battle where you're rewarded for patience. I think you can really, really take a lot of unnecessary casualties if you're too aggressive. Anyway, take a look at these troops in First Division particularly, and I'm showing you kind of my officer bench that I have. And the reason all this is interesting is other than buying officers, I'm pretty much not buying very much in the way of equipment. I'm depending on what I can pick up from the enemy, so I'm spending almost nothing on equipment. And yet I have very good weapons, lots of good artillery batteries. I'm very, very happy with the army I have. You can have you can have a better army by buying more, say 24-pound howitzers or better rifles. And you can also buy specialty units that are really, really good, but I'm not doing any of that. I'm pretty much just using the weapons that I can scarf up. And I'm going to equip an army of about 200,000, over 200,000 by the end of the game. And a large part of that's going to be just by inflicting large casualties on the enemy army. So in this battle, I get over 5 to 1, even though I'm attacking a prepared position. And the reason is you have to be very patient to keep your losses down in this battle. If the enemy has a high enough equipment level, quality of equipment level, you can find yourself attacking 3 artillery batteries of 24-pound howitzers, and those are going to be devastating because there's no armor for your units in this game. This is your men wear wool or cotton, and they take losses, and the better the enemy units, the more losses you're going to take. And if you charge into that fortification, well, you know how it works. I mean, you charge into a fortification, the enemy gets a huge melee bonus, and your unit is very susceptible to fire from units, particularly artillery units that are behind the melee, and you can lose 1,000 men out of one of your best units in just a couple of seconds. And I look at my best unit is getting close to 100 efficiency, and I look at that as $100 per man, and you can lose 1,000 men in this battle in your best units very, very easily if you attack too soon into those fortifications. So the number one thing is you have plenty of time, be patient. And if you are patient and you grind the enemy down, that's going to work out really well for you. And if you attack too aggressively into the fortification, you're going to suffer huge losses. So I've set up my army, and I kind of have these units in moving columns. I don't detach skirmishers right away because I know how far away the enemy is. But then when I start to get a little closer, I detach skirmishers, which you should always do because they have greater visibility and they will take much lower casualties when the enemy in the opening engagement. So yeah, that's pretty standard. And my plan again is to do a wide maneuver around the flank of the enemy and drive all the enemy units into the fortification and then weaken them over a period of time. So this battle, if you're very patient, you can keep your casualties down and do very well. So one of the things that you'll see is I have 3 artillery batteries, and I brought 24-pound howitzers. Now, I fought this battle many times, and I've used different combinations of troops. The Parrots do a good job here. One of my favorite guns, the 6-pound rifled batteries, do really well here. But I brought 24-pound howitzers because they just inflict more casualties. And but this is also a good place for rifled cannon as well. So if that's something that you like, maybe one of the guns can be a rifled gun and start working on degrading the enemy artillery at range. And that's certainly very reasonable. So we have an enemy unit in a fortified position right away in front of us. That's not going to last very long. But if I had a rifled artillery battery, that would be a perfect target for some rifled cannon. In fact, almost every time I fight this battle, I'm able to bottle the enemy up in the fortifications and then kill them all. And once again, when you take the flag, you're on a countdown clock. And so if you drive the enemy out of the fortifications, you're probably not going to kill them all. If you want to kill them all, you have to keep them bottled up around the flag and take the flag last. Kill them all first and take the flag last, if at all. So in this case, I'm not going to kill them all because they escape. And what they'll do is they'll start to route, and then they'll route both north and south. So, but if they route north, then they'll go north into that big open area. They'll actually go across to that island if they route enough, and you won't be able to kill them. That can be a little bit of a problem if the artillery routes, because you have to kill the artillery to get a victory in this battle. So, yeah, I would probably make sure that I cut off the northern escape route for the next time I do this. The other thing is, I didn't expect to be quite as successful on the southern flank as I was. I wanted to soften up the enemy fortifications by attacking the southern flank, and to my surprise, the southern flank just collapsed. That had never happened before. Usually the AI is able to hold the southern part of the fort quite well, and I don't collapse that flank. But in this case, I went up to soften up the southern flank and the fortification, and the southern flank just collapsed. And so I pushed my advantage, and then not only did the southern flank collapse, but the whole position collapsed, and all the units fled to the north. And that's actually a bad thing, because then units got away. So I probably next time will not push as hard on the southern flank. I'll kind of hold my units back. So anyway, this is just kind of in a very calculated and patient way, push the enemy back, inflict casualties, get 5-1 overall, kill the 3 enemy artillery units, and get an easy victory. I'm really liking my army. The weapons I have, the quality of my troops, the level of efficiency. It's achieving everything I want. It's a large army. The weapons are good. I'm not any longer as particular about getting all the best weapons. I think if my units have high efficiency and I'm fighting with Enfields and 1855s, I'm happy. Every unit doesn't have to have 1861s or 1863s. I can have 100,000 men firing Enfields and using 10-pound howitzers, and I'm perfectly happy. So, yeah, and for me, this is an experiment in just building the largest army possible and inflicting lots of casualties on the enemy. As a reminder of what the series is about, and it just works. It's pretty easy to do, and it just works. And you come into these side battles, and there's no problem at all, I think. Well, I mean, in this case, I have 3 batteries of 24-pound howitzers. How is that not going to go anything but well? So anyway, hope you enjoy the rest of the battle. And then the battle after this one is a big one, and so I'll see you there. Thanks.